My husband is in love with my best friend. I used to believe that betrayal came with warning signs, like sudden coldness, unexplained absences, or whispered phone calls in dark corners. But I learned the hard way that sometimes betrayal comes with smiles, shared laughter, and the warm familiarity of someone you trust with your entire heart. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 32 years old, a marketing manager in Chicago, married to Daniel for 8 years. We had what people often called a perfect marriage. Daniel, a financial analyst, was the type of husband who remembered anniversaries, left little notes on the fridge, and kissed me goodbye every morning. And then there was Sophie, my best friend since college, practically a sister. We did everything together. Shopping, late-night calls, vacations. Sophie was family. But nothing could have prepared me for the fact that my husband would fall in love with her. It all started subtly. Sophie had just gone through a messy breakup and started hanging around our place more often. She was heartbroken, fragile, and needed a friend. Naturally, I offered her our home as a sanctuary. Daniel didn't mind. He was always fond of Sophie. In fact, he was unusually attentive. He'd pour her wine, cook her favorite pasta, even suggest we watch movies she loved. First, it warmed my heart. I was proud of how kind Daniel was to my best friend. But as days turned into weeks, I noticed something. A shift in the air when they were together. Their conversations flowed easier. They shared inside jokes I wasn't part of. When I walked into the room, their laughter sometimes stopped, replaced by an awkward silence that I couldn't quite decipher. I brushed it off. This was Sophie. And Daniel, my people. There was no way I was being pushed out of my own circle. But the signs became harder to ignore. One night, we hosted a small dinner. Sophie, of course, was there. As we sat at the table, Daniel couldn't stop complimenting her. How brilliant her new business idea was. How stunning she looked in that green dress. I smiled, clinking my wine glass to theirs, but deep down, a knot formed in my stomach. Later that evening, as I was loading dishes into the dishwasher, I overheard Daniel and Sophie talking in the living room. They were close. Too close. "Babe, you're hilarious," Sophie giggled. "Babe?" She had called him babe. She brushed it off immediately, laughing it away, saying it was a slip-up, that she was just used to calling everyone babe. Daniel laughed too, but his cheeks flushed. Not in embarrassment, but in a way that spoke of something deeper. That night, as Daniel slept beside me, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was imagining things. The real blow came a few weeks later. I noticed Daniel had become more secretive with his phone. He started taking calls in the other room. He'd sit on the balcony for long stretches, texting. One evening, as he showered, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But curiosity and fear got the better of me. It was Sophie. I can't stop thinking about last night. My heart dropped. My fingers scrolled, trembling, through a thread of messages that felt like a dagger with every word. Daniel, it's getting harder to hide it from her. Sophie, I know. I feel so guilty. But when I'm with you, everything feels right. Daniel, maybe we should just tell her the truth. Couldn't breathe. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. My best friend, my husband, the two people I trusted most had woven a secret web behind my back. When Daniel came out of the shower, I was waiting. Daniel, we need to talk. He looked at me, towel in hand, eyes wide with feigned innocence. What's wrong? I held up his phone. Don't you think it's time you tell me the truth? His face paled. Emily, it's not what you think. Really? I asked, voice cracking. Because from where I'm standing, it looks exactly like what I think. He sat on the edge of the bed, burying his face in his hands. I didn't mean for this to happen. Sophie and I, we connected. It's emotional, Emily. We never crossed a physical line. Oh, how noble of you. I spat, the sarcasm tasting bitter on my tongue. He looked up, teary-eyed. I love you, Emily. But I can't deny my feelings for her. The room spun. My marriage, my friendship was unraveling right in front of me. Sophie showed up the next morning. She looked disheveled, her eyes red from crying. She tried to hug me, but I stepped back. "Don't," I said. "Emily, please. I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't plan this. And yet, here we are," I whispered. She cried, begged for my forgiveness, said it was just emotions, that they hadn't acted on them. But the betrayal was already done. Emotional affairs cut just as deep, sometimes even deeper. I asked them both to leave me alone. I needed space from Daniel, from Sophie, from everything. The following weeks were a blur. I moved into a small apartment downtown, needing to distance myself from the life that had shattered. Daniel tried calling, texting, showing up at my office. Sophie sent long emails pouring out her guilt. But I ignored them both. For the first time in years, I was alone. And oddly, it felt peaceful. I started therapy. I joined a yoga class. I rediscovered hobbies I had buried beneath the layers of marriage and friendship. Painting, hiking, even salsa dancing. Daniel sent me a long letter one day apologizing, claiming it was a moment of weakness, begging for a second chance. He admitted his emotional affair, said he cut ties with Sophie, and wanted to rebuild our marriage. But how do you rebuild when the foundation is cracked beyond repair? I met with him at a small cafe. "I still love you, Daniel," I confessed, "but I can't be with someone who doesn't choose me first." He nodded, tears brimming. "I understand." That was the last time I saw him. Sophie, on the other hand, disappeared from my life completely. She moved to another city, started fresh. Part of me wanted closure with her, but another part knew that some wounds are better left undisturbed. Time passed. Slowly, the pain dulled. I focused on my career, traveled, made new friends. I stopped blaming myself for their choices. It wasn't my fault. I was enough. They were the ones who weren't. 1 year later, on a sunny Saturday morning, I found myself sitting at a park cafe, sipping coffee, reading a book. A man approached, kind smile, friendly eyes, asked if the seat beside me was taken. It wasn't. We talked, laughed. No expectations, no pressures. Just two people enjoying a conversation. In that moment, I realized that life doesn't end with betrayal. It begins anew, stronger, wiser, freer. And as for Daniel and Sophie, I wished them well from a distance. The end.